Well, hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip Flop Investor himself. Every week we get together and talk about real estate investing here in the Inland Empire. I like to bring on a guest who has some affiliation with real estate in some form or fashion, and sometimes I bring on people repeat times, like today. We have a repeat guest, and actually our first ever guest on the show. And, probably will be the last guest on the show, too. We're going to find out one day.
That's pretty exciting.
Jim Keller, how you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me, Todd.
Doing awesome. Now, why would you be doing awesome today? I mean, we just stayed up late last night for the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
Well, I'll tell you what. A great reason why is I just got a phone call, 10 minutes before we came in here?
Yeah, easily.
And,
probably even less than that.
It's what I love about going to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. That's the last Wednesday of every month, right?
Fourth Wednesday.
The fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, some people come the last Wednesday.
Oops, that would be wrong.
Sometimes there's 5 Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And
Well, I go to the Meetup app, and that's how I know when it is.
Yeah, that's how you stay up on all the goings on and all the upcoming events for the Inland Empire Real Estate.
Exactly. So,
does it sound like we're trying to plug the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club?
Wait a minute, is that what we're doing?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well, beyond that.
But why do you like going to this place?
Well, it's funny because 10 minutes ago the phone rings, and earlier today the guy called me and said, "Hey, I've got this house a friend of mine's selling," and it's still kind of preliminary as to if a lot of things don't actually happen the way people perceive them up front,
or hope they will,
or all of those kind of things. But it makes me say, I had an awesome day today if I can. First of all, I get to hang out with you guys. The beer was good last night at the bar, by the way.
I missed out on the beer.
I think I had one. And I get to hang out with the good people. I get to meet nice people. I get to, have fun. Got to see my friend Omar that was out there. Got to see Taryn from one of the wholesaling companies that I purchase homes from. Got to kind of meet and talk to people. It's kind of nice. And then the phone rings today saying, "Hey, I might have a house for you," and it's cool. I think that's the part about the business that I love the most. I'm kind of a deal junkie. I love the acquisition, the chase. It's kind of fun.
Sure.
It's kind of interesting how all that kind of comes together. Anyway, I really enjoyed the whole thing, and it makes it an awesome day when I can. At least I'm working on another deal today. I have my own KPIs that I put together, my key performance indicators.
Key perforance indicators. All right, you got to break this one down for me.
Oh, God.
What is a key performance indicator?
I analyze 36 properties a week. I have to write so many offers. I have to make so many face-to-face presentations. It was one of the reasons, I don't know if you caught that or not, but I said I wanted to do a face-to-face.
Yeah.
So a face-to-face.
When you were talking with a gentleman on the phone before we came in here, yeah.
I was like, I want to do a face-to-face. Yep. And one of the reasons is because, what I know is when I'm face-to-face with people, it's harder for them to say no.
Yep.
So that's just it. And that's part of the KPI that I put together with. I was telling you, I went to a business coach, and it's relatively easy to find a house and make a couple bucks selling it, and once in a while you get lucky and you make more than a couple bucks selling the property.
Sure.
But after you have a little bit of success in that, there's a lot of moving parts, as I know you know very well.
Sure. There's a ton of places where you can improve, especially if you start taking on more volume.
Well, there's a ton of areas.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it. All of a sudden, one day you do a report and you say, "Well, how much money did we spend on kitchens?" And you find out it's $186,000, and you're like, $186,000 of the cabinets. Holy Moses! You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even the number. It was bigger than that. So the point is there's always room for improvement. So even if we're just talking about 10% on our cabinetry, and that's $20,000. That essentially that goes right into my grandkid fund or my vacation fund, or that's money that I'm already spending. I should be saving. So the coach helped us out with that. But as far as productivity, as far as revenue numbers, as far as profit dollars, as far as those kind of things, when things are good and the money's just You just it's
Yeah.
it's fun when you get to cash a check every couple of weeks.
Sure.
And they're big checks, and it's all fun, and everything's good.
Yeah, but that's also it's less fun when you have to pay the bills. I mean, I can remember paying. In 1 week, I think we spent over $250,000 on various things.
I've had a couple of weeks like that.
Where
and it's a
you think
little. I can't look at it. I can't see it. If I see it, I get because I'm still just Jim. $26,000 a year, and how am I ever going to retire? And
Right.
Everything,
but at the same time, you sort of, I know, like for us, we'll have millions of dollars in volley at any given time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this deal, we're buying this one right now, so we have all the capital for that, and then we're going to be selling this one over here, so profits coming off the top from that. We're paying all the bills for all the projects we have going at any one time, and that's utility bills. That's going to be, all the different contractor bills, all that stuff. So sometimes there's just tons of money floating around out there, and it's, My accounting skills are fairly basic, right? We were just talking about this.
You sound far more advanced than I, because I don't call what I have accounting skills.
Yeah.
I'm really good at calling the accountant.
Yeah,
and going, what's going on?
I figured out how to press his number. It took a couple tries, but I dialed it right eventually.
There you go. Actually, everybody out there, Todd was nice enough to help me with make an introduction to the accountant that he uses to me. I've been using him for quite a while.
I'm trying to get him on the show.
I don't know why he wouldn't do this.
He should, because you know what it is. I've probably sent him 100 clients, and I think he's actually probably.
He's afraid you're going to give him a bill.
I think he's afraid. You know what? I never caught it. Thanks, Jim. Maybe I should. At least get my taxes done for free. No, but he. I think he's actually at capacity. I don't think he can really handle many more clients.
Really?
That's kind of what it seems like. I mean, you've dealt with him a couple times.
I was there when the corporate cutoff was, and he was. I called him at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I was like, "Hey, sorry about that. I won't do that again to you next year." That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I go. It must be nice rolling it up. He goes, I've got 34 more people to see before midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, during that time, he kind of looks like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, in his office, precious for him is daylight, Yeah, it's rough at tax time, but because he handles a lot of big corporate accounts too.
Yeah.
Things that we bog him down. We make his job easy because we have a bookkeeper that basically hands him a completed file. All he has to do is review through the thing. And
he got me on the same program. It's nice. Yeah, I was in his office one day, and I won't mention. I don't want to give any hints, but it was a very high net individual, and it was him going, yes, write the check for $261,000.
Yeah, it was their tax payment.
Yeah,
not bad. Above and beyond what they probably already paid in employment taxes and so forth.
Yeah, that's a whole nother area code, man. That really is. But
hey, I mean that's the kind of problems you move into. I mean, when I first got into flipping, I was just trying to do the one deal,
the one deal,
and just trying to get.
Where
through
was
that
your one
thing.
deal?
In Moreno Valley.
I did my one deal in Moval too.
That was number one.
I think we, it's funny. I say the word profit. I didn't even know what that really meant. That was how much money was left at the end.
Yeah.
Of course, that was after I forgot about 43 other topics that I actually spent money on.
Right.
Okay. But I perceived at the time that I think we made $26,000 on that deal.
That's not bad.
And I remember thinking, wow, if I could do 4 of those, honey, we'd make $104,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very excited about that.
So
I still am. That would be awesome.
It still would be awesome. But now you have partners, lenders, things
now I
like
got
that.
Everybody, the dang lenders. No, it's fun though, and I guess if I really kind of thought about the day, I get it's easy to maybe get depressed, or it's maybe to get sort of overwhelmed with all of this stuff. But the reality is I guess that's really why I like coming on the show with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is we got a pretty awesome life, man. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We got cups of coffee in our hands. We just got off of lunch.
Yep. We looked at 3 of your properties that you got going out in Redlands right now.
Correct. Where I'm able to kind of like set my mind right with the two of us being open and honest with one another. Like, yeah, we made a mistake here. Yeah, we could have done better there. Yeah, this doesn't work. Oh my gosh, this is killing it for us. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff. That's good stuff. It is. It makes me. Well, I mean it. Some days there's not a lot to be happy about. So it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. I mean, you're always welcome here. But I think the reason why I like having you on too, same reason I like to have Steve on, is because we've gone the gambit. We've done multiple things in real estate all together at this point.
Yeah.
And it's good because I mean we help out a lot of these younger people that are, or maybe they may not be younger, they might even be older than us in some cases, but they're they're new to the business. We had a guy that came last night to the club, and he just got started wholesaling a week ago. He just got started. So I'm like, oh, so you've done a deal already? No, he read about wholesaling a week ago, and he found the club on Meetup and came to the meeting, which is great because this guy got to meet some of the best contacts in the room last night.
Well, there you go.
Some of the top people in the industry were basically telling this guy how to do it, how to make it work for him, and he's I could tell by the end of the night he just looked like he was taking drinks out of a fire hose all night.
Yeah,
he looked a little like a deer in the headlights.
I've seen that. Well, I mean, I've had that look before. I remember one time I went to I drove all the way out to see Andy at the Red Robin in La Quinta.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, yeah, I'll give you an hour and a half. And, we were going on like hour 4.
Right. And beer, how many?
No, I wasn't, no beers. I did tea. What? I think I used the bathroom about 33 times. I was just sitting there drinking tea with the guy. But the point is, I met my match in the sense that, I mean, I can talk about this subject. I love it.
Yeah.
And Andy had me doing all kinds of crazy things. And that was, I don't know if you you didn't finance the deal. I had a deal out in Anaheim. I forgot the name of the street.
Was that the condo?
No, not that deal. Let's not talk about that one.
That was a great deal. What are you talking about? It was
a great deal.
I remember making a lot of money on that.
I remember making the lender whole, and I took it. That was my first real loss. But anyway,
that was a lucky deal. You got out of that one by the skin of your teeth. I mean, that was a rough deal.
So the lender I was working with, I felt better, but really I didn't. That we all sort of missed that on like the 4th page of a 7-page title report or preliminary notice, it said possible litigation with homeowners with HOA.
Yeah, the condo owners association.
And it was like a separate line. It was not in any text. It certainly wasn't camouflaged, but it was one of those things where it was so in the open. I missed it. Everybody missed it.
We all missed it.
Yeah. And just so all of you know, if there's litigation that would cause a condominium to go to become insolvent, so that would mean if the suit was for more than what their maximum insurance loss.
Yeah.
Help me with the word. The maximum that they're insured for. So that this place was insured for $10 million worth of loss.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a kid was walking across the street on a public street, and he got his foot run over, and the family sued for $75 million, and they named the city of Anaheim and the association.
Yeah.
And in doing that, if they would have won the full $75,000, which I don't even know what happened, $75 million, the homeowners association would have been insolvent. So because of that, no lender would write a Fannie Freddie, conforming note, and the place wasn't approved for FHA.
Yeah.
So I sold it to a Chinese national I had it sold for $354. I sold it for $300, and
they paid cash.
They paid cash. They closed fast, and I think I had to pull $8,000 out of my pocket to close that deal. But I did it, and I made you guys whole.
Yep.
You guys were my lender. I made you guys whole, and at least I can look myself in the mirror and say I haven't left anyone high and dry with the dough. And we never really talked about it, but I would imagine at some level you were like, oh well, he's a good guy. He did the right thing.
Yeah.
So.
Even so, I mean, even then, I still would have done deals with you, even if you didn't pay us in full, because there's some things. This is the risk we take. If we're going to lend money, that's the risk we take as a lender. That something could go wrong and there could be a loss. I mean, one of the projects I lent money on almost 4 years ago, This property, we actually just went today to it because we finally finished it. This property ended up becoming a major, major headache out in the city of Morongo Valley. And this project just went extremely long because of issues with the permit and the county of San Bernardino. We had some problems there, but
I don't know if you remember, but I don't think you were there the day I was with Steve, your partner, Steve. I'm sorry for people who know who I'm talking about. I was in the office, and the gentleman you lent the money, who the sponsor of that deal, was there, and I had already done a few deals with you guys, and he was like, "Oh, like, hi, Jim." Like, I could tell he wanted to, like, talk shop, that kind of thing. And that was before wasn't it termite damage that started the whole spiral downwards?
Yeah, that's the story he tells us. There was
really?
Yeah, there was some termite damage, but I don't know.
You found out that wasn't the real story?
Well, who knows? That's the story he tells us. We have nothing to go on. We never saw the termite damage. For all we know, there was a pink dragon flying through the walls. He was just trying to get it out of there. I don't know. He could have been on drugs. We don't know.
Oh, really? So that guy left relatively early in this whole deal?
Well, he basically tore the house apart, tore the roof off.
Oh, so you think he just, like, literally, like, I don't want to use the word like a drug tweaker because we don't know that. But
we don't know that.
We think he
I think he actually did it with the best of intentions. Because he
just got in over his head.
He was out there working on it. He had a buddy of his that was a framer. Yeah. I think they were actually trying to make it come back together, but the problem is the county inspector stopped by when they had pulled all this stuff off, and the county inspector stopped the job. He gave him a red tag.
Well, thank God the county's there to save us all, man. Where would we be without him, huh?
Had it not been for the county, he would have put it back together. He actually was a plumber. Like, he had some experience.
He would have done it right.
He probably could have done it. He probably could have pulled it off over time. It just, he would have needed to pull some money out of his own pocket. But he had a small agricultural business. Also,
an agricultural business.
Small agricultural business, growing these small 6 to 8 foot trees or bushes. I guess they'd be a shrub. I don't know. Yeah, something for medicinal use. Who knows? I can't even imagine what it was. Probably some rosemary or,
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah,
who knows?
We'll find out one day.
Tea of some sort of an herb of some kind.
An herb, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so he was out there cultivating. He had a side hustle there, making a little bit of money.
What are you kidding me? The flipping was his side hustle.
Yeah, it's really what it was, So whatever, he deeded the property back to us, and this was 3 years ago when he deeded it to us.
Holy Moses.
And we got involved in a long old thing. Originally, we had to now submit new plans to the county. Finally, got the thing approved, and then they stopped us after we started work on it because they said, "Hold on, there's a floodplain." And there's this issue with FEMA. FEMA created these floodplains, and they used an automated model to be able to figure out how the floodwaters would go through the city of Morongo Valley, and they determined that it would go through our property, and we had to raise the foundation 2 feet. But this is a permanent slab foundation. How are you going to raise a permanent slab foundation 2 feet?
What ended up happening there?
So eventually, what we had to do was, threaten them with legal action for inverse possession, and they basically at that point finally brought all the people out from behind the in the planning department, the building and safety. They finally bring all the head honchos out. They go and talk to Stephen.
Field trip.
Yep, Stephen that was down there.
Oh, really?
Talking to them at the county. Yeah, and they finally bring out everybody from the back and say, okay, let's figure out what's going on. We don't want an inverse possession, situation going on, because inverse possession means that the city has basically caused us to lose on a property, and they're going to have to pay us for that loss, essentially, because they caused the loss. So they didn't want this suit coming against them, and the attorney that we had, he's a powerhouse. He had won $100 million lawsuit against the county of San Bernardino.
Boy, that
for
sounds
something.
cheap.
Yeah, so we threw his name around a little bit, and they all of a sudden crawled out from behind, and they basically looked at it and said, "Here, let's look at what the real issue is." And the issue was this breezeway on the property that we had there. That's what the issue came down to, really, for them.
You mean that's what they used to explain how they could not have to raise the foundation up, and if you just change the breezeway, everything's fine?
Right. So, fine.
This sounds a lot like a conversation I had with the assessor of Orange County this morning. Mm-hmm. They just sort of make it up as they go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They just sort of make it up as they go, and I'm not. I don't want to get political, but it just this kind of stuff. It really does. It kind of kills me because because I'm not a millionaire. I don't got, I don't have year after year after year after year of success in this business. I'm relatively a flash in the pan. The last, 4 or 5 years we've done really well, but being treated by the city and the counties and things like this, it's not right, and it really turns people off. And I was able to purchase a home in Orange County for a substantial discount, and I was really given I was told I had to show proof of the work that we're doing,
right,
and what the house looked like beforehand, and it's not right being pushed around like that. It's just not right.
I'm looking this up because I just realized I was calling it inverse possession. It's adverse possession. And I'm so thinking, I'm like, why did I?
I'm so glad you did that, because I was like, inverse possession.
Yeah, I was throwing the word around my head for a second. I'm like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. So, yeah, adverse possession. Funny. I feel like
that makes sense to me.
But hey, that
happens. Makes sense.
It's not the first time I've said something on the radio, but generally I come clean about it.
Hey, all I know, I had an awesome day today. You asked how my day was.
Yeah.
Things are going well. I know we're at the club, the presenter last night, Stephen was sort of, less than excited on, the possibility of the next 5 years having the market affecting the same way as it did the last 5 years. So certainly there's nothing guaranteed in the world, but that was a nice part about kind of coming up here today with you, is we get to talk on and say, hey, it really doesn't. I don't know. I don't want to sound stupid saying it really doesn't matter what happens out there, but I'm a strong guy, and I'll go out and figure it out. And I guess if I have to, sell coffee or do something, I don't know what this would be.
Handyman, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I become a farmer.
There you go.
I don't know. I can grow some nice herbs. I never really have, but there's got to be.
How hard can it be? Sun and light, right? And water and light. Isn't that all?
I love it. I love it. Actually, you got to come by the house, and we never talk about coming by the house, but you got to come by the house, because I have my own little nursery that I'm doing in the back of the house. Nice. So I have a little section. I don't know. It's maybe like 100 by like 50 feet deep in the backyard where I have some fruit trees.
That's huge.
It's big.
You're saying little.
Well, it's not. It's
like small scale commercial farmer size right there.
The last half of the house, the last like maybe third of the property is fenced off separately. I've got some trees back there, and I went and I bought 1,200 pots.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just loading them up, and it's not that I'm bored or have nothing to do. You're laughing at me right now, well, but actually, you know what? I'm really enjoying it. So I'm planting all these plants. It's mainly cactuses and things that I enjoy myself. I've got quite a little collection over the years. I always sort of take all the plants that are left when people move. Mm-hmm. They always make it to my house, so I've repotted. So now I've got all this stuff, and
we find it. It's funny because how many potted plants you'll find at a house. I know we have
20?
Yeah,
easily 20.
Well, we have this one out in Temecula. Have you been down there with us?
I have never been.
We're almost done there, so when we're done, you got to come out. But
cool.
I mean, that place probably had over 200 potted plants.
Really?
Still in the pots. Some of them, like many of them, had actually grown through the pot into the ground, and now we're trying to pick out pieces of broken pot, that were in there. But yeah, it's amazing how many potted plants you'll find.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm enjoying it because now I can come home, and I want to get home, and it's fun. I go out and maybe I try to plant like maybe 20 pots. So a lot of times what happens on these big pots, there's multiple plants there, and I bring them home and I take them all apart, and so one big pot maybe yields 30 smaller plants.
Huh.
I'm such an old man. I'm talking about planting.
Yeah, exactly.
Things. What the hell
I'm
happened to me, dude?
Trimming my roses.
What happened to me?
What
happened to me? But hey, I'm at home. I'm not out drinking with the buddies.
That's a good point.
I'm being exactly. Safe. My wife likes the pretty backyard.
Right. Yeah, I have a garden in the backyard, but mostly just fruits and vegetables. We got blueberries and jalapenos, and I'm going to be planting a ghost pepper here pretty soon. I don't. It's just something to do, you know.
I like it. I like
not?
it. So I'm just sort of like kind of freaking out right now because I told my contractor JR to listen to the show because I was going to be on the radio
That's right.
today, and he's sitting in his car right now going, "They're talking about plants. What the?
Yeah, it's part of it, right? This is the lifestyle of the
is that it?
of the real estate flipper, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
You get the free time to be able to go home and
No,
plant
listen,
plants.
JR, it's hard work, dude.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
yeah, it is. No, but and I was going to mention this earlier. I mean, the reason I like having you on too, we were talking about having a wide variety of things we've done in real estate, and a lot of the people that are new to this business really like to hear what you have to say, what I have to say about it. It doesn't sound right when I'm just talking to myself, so I have to have somebody else here.
No, I hear you.
But they like to hear us tell our horror stories and our war stories and all that stuff. They like to hear how it is that we got to this place, because in the beginning for both of us and Steven, everybody I know, it started with one house and it just sort of grew from there. For me, I did a few houses and I got it. It's not complicated. After you do a few houses, it's just like, I get it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like flipping a whole lot actually when I got started. Wasn't a huge fan of it because I wasn't good at construction management. Wasn't my thing. I didn't know anything about construction. So, I kind of had this, paranoid feeling that the contractors were getting one over on me or something,
Really?
Because I didn't know what pricing should have
understand
been.
that.
You know what I mean? So,
it's going to be $31,000 for that driveway, sir.
yeah. And of course, $31,000 for me, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So somebody's telling me 31 grand for something like that. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, come on, I can go to the place and buy the concrete myself. And
I have a house out in Palm Springs. We spent $22,000 on a driveway, on all the concrete around the pool, all new pool coping.
oh, wow.
It's a beauty, don't get me wrong, but I never spent $22,000 on concrete in one house.
And that was the lowest of 5 bids you got.
No,
probably.
that was the affordable one. That's the house where I got a $39,000 bid for the metal fence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you
Wow.
should have seen my partner's.
I think I remember him talking to me about it in the most polite fashion.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And then the reality on that fence is it's called Western Rib. So Western Rib is a product that looks like the subfloor of a commercial building. You know what I'm saying? It's got the 4 inches and then it's on an angle and it goes 4 inches and down. And okay, so they call that Western ribbing.
Yeah.
Okay. At the metal store.
And they're doing it on a horizontal
But
plane.
they do it on a horizontal plane on for the fencing. And it's very Palm Springs, and everybody out there really wants it, and it's nice.
Sure.
And they make it, the installers make it sound like they're building a small Rolex watch that's 330 feet long and a 16-foot rolling gate.
Yeah.
They're turning an $80,000 watch into a fence like that. That's really what that's the way they make it sound.
Right.
So in the end, I have a friend from church who used to be a steel stud.
Okay.
Not contractor, but he worked in a steel stud. So I had Mike come up with a list of material, and I think we're into that for like $3,900.
Okay.
And of course, we have to buy it, we have to estimate it, we have to buy it, we have to deliver it. We've got all of that kind of stuff. And my guy's gonna, I think I figured it out. It was like $7,500. He's gonna be out there for 2 weeks. Make $7,500. He's a happy camper.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. I mean, some of these guys, they don't.
I'm into the whole deal for $10 grand instead of $39,000, and that's the part.
Quarter of it.
And so that's the anxiety you're talking about, I believe.
It is.
Because
for me, how much does a roof cost, And it's a 1-story house, it's a 2-story house. There's going to be a difference because a 2-story house has a smaller roof, generally speaking. If it's the same square footage we're talking about, you're going to have a smaller roof, smaller foundation on a 2-story home. But for some reason, I was paying the same price on a 2-story that I was on a 1-story. And that kind of, it didn't seem right to me. I'm like, the square footage of this roof is smaller. It's a smaller area. How is it the same price, And it felt like a lot of the guys in the beginning just wanted to charge me a price because that's how much they needed to make that much that
exactly.
month,
Oh yeah, my workers' comp's due next week, and I need $8,000, and
I got that trip coming up. I'm going to Havasu this weekend. I need I need to be able to afford my boat payment, because I got to get it out of impound. I don't know.
Yeah, it freaks you out though. I know we spent $12,000 on the roof out in Upland.
Yeah.
And that was
a good sized house though, right?
Yeah, but that was an oops. That was like we didn't know we had to do that one.
Yeah.
And
roofs are tough,
Yeah, and that's the part that's the part about the flipping business that no one really seems to be able to kind of wrap their head around is when it's good. And I've done deals before and seen six figures come in after the whole deal was done.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I've seen it. Maybe the other direction too. It's ugly. So no one seems to want to talk about that part of it. They all want to talk about paying what did I say earlier? $300,000 in taxes, and you're going to make millions. Everything's going to be great. And
sure.
It doesn't work out that way.
It doesn't. But that's that's why I didn't like flipping a whole lot. I liked seeing the end product, and I liked selling them and all that stuff. That was fun. But it was that part in the middle that I didn't really like too much. So I ended up getting into lending, and when I got into lending is when I was like, this is like the easy version of flipping.
Mm-hmm.
I still get to do all the fun parts of it without any of the negative parts of it, like dealing with contractors and all that stuff. So I used to love the fact that I had somebody who was more experienced as a borrower, and they were a contractor or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They understood what they were doing. They knew their costs, and it was their problem to make sure it came in under budget.
Yeah.
And I got to sit back and watch these things transform, just like I did on the other projects that were mine. And I didn't make as much, but it was easier, and I could do more of them at once. Because prior to that, I was doing onesie twosies, just one at a time, one-off deals, just finishing them, and then going now find the next one. So it was the first time I ever dealt with volume.
So tell me, when you're talking about dealing with volume, I know you guys are looking at your mini house, company, and it's one of the things I like hanging out with you guys with is it's not enough that you want to do this mini house, you want to finance them yourself, and you want to do all these things. Are you thinking it's investors all the way you're going to be going with, or are you thinking that after you get a track record and you see that this is an income producing asset that these people are buying for what, 50 you said about $50,000 for the small one?
Yeah, the small unit.
Okay. Once you have some kind of a track record, it seems like it's going to be pretty easy for you to go get money elsewhere to back those notes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because once we sell them off, it's an auto title note that we're servicing, and we have all the built-in protections.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's auto title, so we keep the pink slip essentially, and once they pay it off, they get the pink slip. So there's a certain number of investors that have already told us they always want to buy them out in cash, which is fine. That's great, because then we can just put that money right back in the company and make more. But with the financing, we'll have to have an investment pool, out there with investors that are willing to put up the capital for these loans. But that's going to produce a nice yield for them and nice yield for us. So we're excited about it. I mean, financing is where the money's made on a car sale these days, and so we'll be in the same business basically.
Dude. That's it.
So that was my contribution to the tiny home company. Steven wanted to design them and build them. He likes the idea of doing that, and because they fulfill a need, the affordable housing problem that we have in California, it helps that problem a lot. But for me to be involved, I thought that's cool. I like the idea of building these things and manufacturing, but my side of it is I want to do the financing side. So that was where we sort of remarried up again into another business, because we did community restoration group together, we did rehab loan group together, we've done a bunch of things together, and we've been friends for 25 years. But we don't necessarily have to do every single business together, except on this particular case, we obviously trust each other, so it's a big deal. And here's a winning idea, and he can run his side, which is the building design side, and I can run the other side, which is the admin financing side. So you have to bring our unique talent to the partnership, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that one.
I think that's nice, and if for any of the young guys that are just trying to get involved in this business, I know we got a couple of them listening.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the most valuable part of what we're talking about. I know, the partner that I use, He writes all the checks. He does the accounting. He provides an accounting package to my accountant. He does all of the stuff where it's nice for me. Like I've seen it today all day long. There's checks have been going out, but I don't have to be a party to them. I don't have to be. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It takes a lot of stress.
Right.
You wrote the checks at your place?
Yeah.
So you know.
I'm the CFO,
it's hard.
so that gets to be my job. I'm the one that sees the big American Express bill come in, and I'm like, oh man, I'm about to write a check to American Express for several tens of thousands of dollars, and
American Express, huh?
Yeah.
I used to have one of those cards.
Yeah. It was. I mean, hey, it was good. They sent us those nice metal ones.
Nice metal ones.
Yeah, those nice metal ones you could turn into a ninja star and huck at somebody that was upsetting you.
I had the nice travel version. Starwood, I think, was my.
Okay.
Was my specialty. So, any good vacations planned for next year? Or what's the story, man?
Yeah, got a couple places
where
we're
you
planning to
going?
go. I think we're actually going to go to Utah. We have plans to go out to Utah. We're debating going on a cruise next summer or spring.
Really?
There's a few things we're talking about doing. I still want to get over to Europe, get over there and do something. But, kids are 8 and 10 right now. So,
Yeah.
It's kind of like when's the age where they're going to really appreciate it? That's kind of the thing we're grappling with right now. I don't want to expose them to something very cool like that, but then they take nothing from it because, they're just miserable. They're in a country
They're just kids.
Bunch of people speaking French or German all around them, and they don't know what they're talking about.
My daughter Hannah brought her daughter, who she was 5 at the time, and brought them on the pilgrimage to Rome.
Oh yeah.
Now they were only there for 6 days, but it's actually a really great story, and this is why I would encourage you to bring them along. It doesn't matter what the age. So we were at the Vatican, and it was on Sunday, and every Sunday at 12 o'clock, the Pope does, it's called the Angelus. It's a particular type of prayer, and he says it from his condominium or apartment window, his balcony, and the whole square is filled with, it was about 2/3 of the way filled with people, so I don't know how many people that is, but there were a lot of people there. And so he does the prayer, he does the whole thing, and it was nice because the group I was with was mentioned, and we were all excited, happy, and the group I was with they were like, okay, you've got an hour and a half, so whatever you want to do. So we went off and we did a little bit of shopping. So there's have you been to the Vatican?
No.
Okay, so there's the big square, and then right outside there's walls right there. You can go outside, and there's city right there, and there's just little shops and everything. We're walking around. And so we hadn't seen my daughter or my granddaughter since we had left.
Okay.
We went on a 10-day trip, and they were on a 5 or 6 day. I don't remember. But my wife calls, and it was like sporadic cell service. And Hannah picks up the phone, and she goes, "Yeah, we just got done." And she was Terry's like, "Oh, of course, we just got done too." And we're out here, and Hannah goes, "Well, I'm right next to a McDonald's," and Terry goes, "Well, I'm right next to a McDonald's," and as they're talking, they look up at one another, and literally Hannah's walking down the street, and we're standing in a store, and we see each other in Rome. It was so nice. We had lunch with Hannah and my granddaughter Hazel.
That's cool.
It was really fun. It was really cool. And I don't think she has.
Did you go to the McDonald's?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I'm not. That's not my style.
Yeah, go to the Vatican and eat at McDonald's.
I don't go to McDonald's later on tonight. We won't go to McDonald's. No, I'm not a McDonald's guy, but no, we went to some stupid campy pizza place. It was really fun. We had a great time. And I don't think the 5-year-old granddaughter understood that we were in Rome,
right,
having pizza at a little cool little place. I don't think she had any idea of that's what it was. She was just happy to see Grandpa. It was nice.
That's cool.
It was nice, and that's like a cool thing that here I get to tell that story forever now. It was really cool. I like it. That's a nice thing about working for yourself. That when you're able to save a little, you get a nice reward.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about. I know at the club it would be nice if we talked about that more. I think because it's not all about the money. It's not about the stress or the pain or the hassles or anything like that. It's nice. It's a good lifestyle, and
I think a lot of people get into the business initially because they want the time freedom, And I know there's somebody right now listening to the show that's driving on the freeway coming home from their job, and to them this is a fantasy world that we live in because we can come in whenever we feel like it, we can leave whenever we feel like it during the day. I mean, there's times where I really have nothing to do during the day. It's happened a lot more lately because we're selling off a lot of our properties. So since we're not acquiring any new, and my job is to bring the money in, I don't have a whole lot to do during the day right now. So I'm sort of starting to get things prepared for the next company, but there's only so much we can do there too. And so, there's been a few days lately where I didn't really have much to do, but then some days I got a lot to do. So
yeah, I think that's really the disparity of it is I'm doing my best. That's one of the things that my coach is kind of helping me with, is working off of a schedule. I find it, I'm really inept. I mean, I'm horrible. I really am.
That's scheduling, yeah.
Self-org is just, I just am horrible at it. And I don't know if it's just because I was a bad student and I just have a hard time thinking I think the word's linearly. I'm not a linear thinker.
Linearly?
I just don't I can't put a lot of things together. I'm lazy. I'm I got all these things that I'm not. So great where I'm good at a couple of things that I've learned to make a good living doing it. But it's those simple things. I have a hard time keeping a schedule. When I am on schedule though, when I do well with it, I can see it's a real benefit, but those are the kind of things. It was funny yesterday at the end of the meeting. I was trying to explain that to a young guy. It was and his mother. I think his name's Lewis. Did you meet this kid? Mom's name was Brenda.
Okay, I don't think I met them last night.
Yeah, sweet. They weren't a couple. It was father or mother son, and. In the end, mom was an agent, and he's just a smart kid. He's a really smart kid, it seemed to me like. And I was like, man, don't worry about real estate. Just be a good guy. You're doing great with me. Just look me right in the eye and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And if I say, oh, just me, do it this way, do it that way. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're just.
It's so hard sometimes with some of the people that are new because you don't know where they're starting from.
Yeah.
And so for some people, they're literally starting with no real estate knowledge at all. And it's tough to be able to take that person and turn them into a lean, mean deal finding machine.
Well, no, they're not going to be. They're not going to be. And that's really what I've started telling people is so I'm looking at the board op right now here at the station.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, you're great at what you do. You're a great board op. Okay. If you want to get into real estate investing, okay, you have to learn how to take all of the talents that you have as a board op, and you have to learn how to make them sort of work for what we're doing. So, as I'm sitting here watching him, he's tweaking this and doing this and moving this around or whatever he's doing. Okay. It's not unlike what we do all the time. We're always checking this, tweaking that, pulling this, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And I realize it's a different profession. There's a lot of different things going on, but a lot of it I believe is intuitive. A lot of it is intuitive. If it how do they say that? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yep.
A lot of it is that, and that's really what I was trying to tell the kid. I was like, hey, I've got 1,200 escrows underneath me.
Right.
You're not gonna meet me head to head. We're not equally yoked. You're not gonna come against me and get the better of me in an escrow situation.
Right.
But you might be able to charm me. You might be able to get the better of me using other talents. So I think that's something that all these guys, instead of trying to be something they're not. I don't know. I guess I'm saying that because I feel the same way about myself as I know what I do really well.
Right.
And I need to do more of that.
That's true.
The more of that I do, the more.
But that's why you work with a business coach.
Well, there you go.
The idea for the coach is to take what you want to be, right? Like the superhero version of yourself.
Yeah.
And they try to make that a reality for you.
There you go.
And that's basically why you
And so
hire
that's
them.
why I know that if I don't need today to analyze 36 properties.
Right.
I really don't. I'm kind of up to my head in all of these projects. I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But if I stop doing it, I'll be out of the business. And in 5 months from now, when I don't own the properties we own now, where will I be? So, it's that part of this is that part of this is hard sometimes to see, but I have to learn how to schedule it. I have to learn how to organize myself properly. And I just think it's funny because I never thought success would look this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like sometimes it's hard to kind of like make to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
That oh my gosh, I've got this what little bit of success we have, and I'm just so unorganized, and I'm so like I'm just I'm just a mess some days.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of funny.
But people look at us, and I think they envy our positions. Because I mean, we both have multiple homes going on right now. Way more than most people can fathom even doing. I know, like, whenever somebody asks me how many houses we're doing, and I tell them,
they don't believe you.
They're just
Well, they just look at you
they
like,
believe me, because I mean, I got a little bit of a reputation. I like to think, but
no, I know what you're saying.
They believe me, but they're just so amazed. Like, I'm just trying to get one, and it's like, I remember trying to get one. It was a pain for me too back then, but I just stuck it out and kept trying, kept doing it. And it's that same thing.
It is. It's crazy.
I'd be analyzing 36 houses in a day easily. I can completely remember doing that.
It's kind of fun, and actually, what I've learned is it kind of puts me in my happy place because at least I feel like I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying to get the best or the most out of what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And at least that way, I guess if I actually do purchase no homes in the next 30 days, at least I will have done the research, and I maybe I don't purchase homes, but maybe I sell them to somebody else or something like that. That's kind of that's the direction I'm going in. Is instead of getting into the business as a wholesaler, I'm a flipper, and I'm going to get into the wholesaling business. And then just cherry pick the best deals I can, and
because there's people out there that'll pay more than we will on a property, and
Well, yeah, there is, and that's sort of like an odd thing sometimes to figure out.
We talked about earlier, because a lot of these guys that do a lot of volume, they need to buy property. They have a huge fund or something like that. They have to buy property, and their margins are smaller. They have to buy 100 houses this year, in order for their business to be a success. So
exactly,
and they're willing to make $40,000 on a $1.1 million resale.
Todd, how fun would that be for you to win that lottery next? What is it, on tomorrow or the next day of the draws?
Yeah, the Powerball. I don't know. I think it's on Saturday, maybe.
Wouldn't it be fun if, like, you win this lottery and then you just say to me, Jim, listen to me, I've got $200 million. I need you to go out, and I need a diversified account. I need homes in medium income areas.
I want 40% apartment buildings. I want 20% warehouses. Yeah.
And Jim, I'm going to be down in the Bahamas, in my new place in the Bahamas. So can you come down in like a month and give me a report on how we're doing?
Yeah, I'll send the private jet.
I'm ready. I'm in.
Exactly. I'm in.
What do I sign?
I think for a lot of people that they talk about winning the lottery and stuff like that. Like, if they were to actually win, would they quit their job? Most people probably would. I wouldn't. I'd actually continue what I'm doing.
Well, didn't I did the math on the way over today. If the gentleman who made the person in South Carolina that won $1.6 billion. I think I figured out that they're going to net like $550 or something like that. At 5%, it's $900,000. I don't know. I don't remember what.
I think you were basing that off of if you won the $40 million.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The 1.6. I think that guy per day is making like $200 and something thousand.
I guess all of us are just like in the end, we're just like some middle class schlubs. It's like my wife and I were talking about the $1.6 billion lottery winnings, and I was like, well, we were just joking around, but I'm like, oh, what would you do with the money? And she's like, oh, I think I'd probably buy a couple of big like 200 or 300 unit apartment buildings and just manage them. I'm like, well, why
would you manage them?
Like hire a manager.
Okay.
But I'm like, well, like tell me, like, why would you do that? Like I don't think we have any concept of what like what this like all of the pressure and all of the mess
Right.
that would bring you. And it seems like an apartment building would just be one more hassle. But whatever. What do I know?
I mean, there's different structures in commercial real estate. Just because you own the building doesn't mean you have to manage it. You could basically own the land, you could own the building, and then a management company manages it, and that's how they make their money.
That was
Master
the best part of that master lease class we went to. Remember that in Vegas?
Absolutely.
That was the best. What was it? Remember they were talking about the property, the Marriott hotel, the food service, and the banquet service. All of those were based off of a lease.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only owner was the owner of the land and the owner of the building, which were two separate entities in that case.
Yeah.
And
wow, that's pretty crazy, huh?
I mean, it's like being a franchise owner. Like you can either own the franchise and sort of be a owner operator where you could work at the subway. There's a woman that owns the subway near my house, and her and her husband run it. They're there every single day from sun up to sundown.
Really?
To me, that's no life. I don't know how.
Yeah, I have a
Great customer service. They're always smiling.
I have a wholesaler guy whose mom owns a 7-Eleven, and she's there from sunrise to sunset.
I don't understand it. I'd rather have somebody else come in as a manager. I'd rather own the shopping center that houses the subway, that has that dedicated couple out there running the subway every day to keep my rent check coming in.
I don't know. It's amazing.
It's
amazing. It's amazing.
So we're running short on time. So
we are.
I think we only got about a couple minutes left, 2-3 minutes. So
all right.
I'm sure you want to tell some people about Do Some Deals, right?
DoSomeDeals.com is a really great website that I've got put together, and you're more than welcome to go to DoSomeDeals.com.
That's all one word?
That's all one word, all one big setup there. And when you go to the site, you put in your name, your phone number, there's a little bit of information you can opt into. You'll get a nice package about myself, and I can show you how to do some deals.
That's what people are in the business to do, right?
Isn't that's scary? I can't believe I become that guy. But hey, come along. It's a fun ride.
What a great domain name, I mean, just a mega genius must have come up with that one.
Yes, you were pretty smart to come up with that one. I appreciate it.
It was either that or the dude buys, right? That was the other
buys. That is pretty funny.
Sir Deals a Lot was one that we came up with.
Sir Deals a Lot?
Yeah, it was going to be like a night of the round table.
Sir Deals a Lot. We've got your herb handled.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. Okay, so I guess for the last minute or so, I'm just going to tell people if they're interested in real estate investing, they should come check out the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We get together every fourth Wednesday of the month at the Mission Inn in downtown Riverside. It's a support group for real estate investors, so we just reassure each other that this is okay, all this thing we're doing, and that it is profitable, and all of our family and friends are crazy. So go to meetup.com, look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. You can find all the details about our upcoming upcoming events, and that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank Jim Keller. I'll see you all again next week. Have a good week, everyone. Take care.